I should have seen it coming. There were plenty of signs that I should have read in the past months, even years, that I should have seen the signs and symptoms of how I was feeling, how bad things progress. And yeah, I just wouldn't accept it, or let me say, I'm a middle-aged man, boy, however you want to call it, 36, and having 2 kids, always working hard. I'm self-employed, was always working late. Then Corona struck. I was still working, even though got a lot of sick for the time being. I just kept working, slept unregular with 2 kids, with the second one, boy, now being 2. So stressful times the last years, and just all that combination, constantly feeling bad, feeling or sleeping unregularly. I was just thinking, you can scratch it off, take an energy drink or take some vitamin C pills. You will be fine if you have a headache, feeling bad, having heart palpitations, just dizziness and whatever. You will be fine. You're still young. It was just making excuses that it's just work. It's the kids. This is life. You gotta pay the bill. You gotta gotta pay what there is to pay, and keep living in the rat's race, so to say. And I wouldn't just accept that that there could be any sort of disease or something really not being well within me. And this is still even not the case, even though I know now what I have and I know how to control and treat it. It's just something that I wouldn't accept or view it for myself. And so it progressed, I would say, since the last 3 years, half a year before Corona started in 2020. And things just got worse and worse, from just feeling a lot of fatigue and I wouldn't say brain fog, but just not yourself, and my performance at sports, at exercising, was weakening. I wasn't really feeling the motivation, the thrive, just really stressed and wouldn't really accept what's going on. So it just really started getting worse, but then within this year it got really bad. So at the beginning of the year, again, working hard many times, also went out a lot with friends, alcohol, with my family, saw a lot of people, work related, traveled a lot, and I should have seen the signs. These are the now looking back, I just also realized that there were so many signs that I should have read. For example, the second time I had COVID, I was like a wreck compared to all of my friends. Leaving the topic of the vaccinations aside, but or going out with friends, barely drinking, I was feeling like crap the next day, while comparing myself to friends. They were doing just normal, just fine. And a lot of days where I just didn't feel good, felt like puking up, had like a stomach pain, couldn't really go to the bathroom, all these sort of things. And then 4 months ago it got really bad. I had a viral infection, again with that, let's say, a young mindset, like this sort of infection will not do you any harm or whatever. I was really feeling awful, but I was just ignoring all the signs. Kept taking any ibuprofen, vitamin C pills and other pills, went to work out even being sick, went out to see people even though I didn't sleep, worked constantly without sleeping and so on. And then really the downfall, the crash, hit me at some point around 4 months ago, that I was so wrecked up after these 2 weeks of being infected with the virus, but really pushing it to beyond limits, that I was now then lying at home. I couldn't do anything. I had constant headache, pain in the whole neck, chest, heart palpitations. My heartbeat rate went really low. I started going to doctors, checked all my blood levels. They said, yeah, I'm still fighting with the infection. Went on. The fatigue started getting worse. Even though then I was still working, as mentioned, I'm self-employed, so no work, no money, and I kept working, but really felt awful. All the signs, that you can imagine. I could have never imagined that you could feel so bad. And then after a couple of days more with these recurring or holding symptoms, I felt at some point that my hands and my feet starting to get funny, dizzy, couldn't really feel them. They were starting to get deaf. Then dizziness and brain fog started to get worse. Heart palpitations, I felt awful, like puking, I couldn't eat. And then at some point I also couldn't see on my left eye, and then partially even on both my eyes, so I had to go immediately. I had to call the emergency to pick me up, where I stayed then in the hospital for 4 or 5 days. They checked pretty much everything, all blood levels, did CTs, MRTs, removed water from my spinal here in the back, gave me some electro measurements to check my impulse frequency between nerves, and that my sensoric nerves and motoric nerves are still working fine. Couldn't really find anything, so after 4 or 5 days I was released with just a notice, yes, too much stress, you gotta change your life, and so on and so forth. And since then I've just been pretty much not improving my conditions a little bit. I didn't really improve any of my conditions until I changed some fundamental changes, but like food, for example, I started to eat just fruit and plant-based for some time. That really helped me, but the real cause is I started going from doctor to doctor just to find out what's going on with me. And this is when I really got scared, because I went to tons of doctors to check everything, and pretty much everyone is just saying, yeah, you're fine, just rest, take some time off, and so on and so forth, which I even believed partially. But the symptoms weren't really going away. It was horrible, and the feeling of being, let's say, helpless because of our medical industry, our pharma industry, medical medicines, they are not really able to handle and tolerate and understand what's going on, and beyond education, beyond, let's say, our lobbyist pharma system and all these points. So I just kept going from doctor to doctor, and now a couple of weeks ago, finally I found the source or the reason for my wrong being, and in the end it turns out I have a very strong and very advanced form of Epstein-Barr virus, the latest stage where actually the virus made it into the central nervous system, is itself hiding and implanted basically in all the organs like liver, kidneys, and so on, and cannot really be detected with normal, let's say, blood or special blood tests, but really you need to pull a lot of neurological work you need to put this into, to find this, that the doctor can at the end identify, also by excluding other sort of diagnoses and tests like MS, multiple sclerosis, CFS, and so on and so forth, borreliosis, Lyme disease, so to say. So here I am now, and this is my story. So here I am now, this is my story, trying to find a cure, living and beating the virus at one hand, and also healing my body, my mind, and my organs from such a long-lasting viral load of infections and virus being present for several years now in your body, and just basically getting rid of that. This is my story. So yeah, come on with me onto that journey, and I hope by sharing these informations that I can help others, because I have never felt this devastated in my life, to not understanding A, what's going on with myself, B, realizing that basically you're alone. There's medical science and the pharma industry is not yet so advanced to find out and also to cure and understand what's going on. Maybe they also don't want it. But C, also trying or realizing that within our society you will be just put into a closet, like he's a psycho, he has burnout, all these sort of comments really struck me, and I just come to realize that what happened to me, that there was a push to Corona, and that infections and wrong beings and diseases, symptoms will come out now way more earlier going forward than maybe in the past, because of Corona, and also because of ecological aspects of how bad we started to eat, and also a stressful life. So it's a combination of these things. I hope I can help many people by sharing my thoughts and my experiences.